two security cameras, two completely different ideas of what home protection should look like. One lives on a wire, and the other lives on sunlight. And that single difference ends up shaping almost everything else about how you'd actually use them day to day. So today we're walking through both Eufy S4 Max and Tapo C675D to see where each one earns its place, and just as importantly, where each one starts to fall short. Because once you understand the house you're protecting, this decision gets a lot simpler. Let's start with what these two systems actually are, since they're not really built to compete for the same job in the first place. The Eufy S4 Max is a full NVR setup, meaning it runs through a central hub packing a 2 terabyte hard drive and an 8-core processor, with all of that processing happening locally. Since everything runs through Ethernet, power and data ride on a single cable. So once it's installed, it simply runs, with no subscriptions and no cloud dependency behind any of it. On the other hand, Tapo takes the opposite approach. It's wireless and battery-powered, and it keeps itself topped up through an included solar panel rated at 4.5 watts. Because it only talks to your network over 2.4 or 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi and stores footage locally on a micro SD card up to 512 gigabytes, there's no hard drive here at all. And while it's marketed as 24/7 coverage, that's technically a snapshot mode capturing a frame every second, which matters if you're expecting continuous video rather than a running series of stills. Both cameras claim 4K on paper, but the way that resolution actually gets delivered is where they start to separate. The S4 Max uses a triple lens bullet and PTZ combination, a fixed 122-degree wide lens paired with a rotating 2K PTZ head. And because it runs at a smooth 20 frames per second, motion stays fluid even under zoom. During testing, that combination held up at distances as far as 164 feet, with faces and even license plates still readable. The C675D, by comparison, leans into its massive 169-degree fixed lens for sheer coverage, paired with a telephoto PTZ camera capable of 18 times zoom. Both lenses do hit true 4K, but since the frame rate caps out at 15 frames per second, that lower rate tends to show up as pixelation whenever the PTZ lens is actively tracking something in motion. Where it does hold its own, though, is color night vision, with infrared and full color modes lighting scenes out to roughly 52 feet. This is really where the two systems diverge in personality. The S4 Max runs its Bionic Mind AI entirely on the NVR itself, offline, with no cloud round trip involved. It handles the usual person, vehicle, and pet detection well enough, but the standout feature is cross-camera tracking, where a subject moving across your property gets handed off from one lens to the next automatically. And once you pair that with smart video search, where typing something like "person in a red jacket" pulls matching clips instantly, reviewing footage stops feeling like a chore altogether. The Tapo's version of this is synchronized tracking between its two lenses. So when the wide camera spots motion, the PTZ lens locks on and follows using that same 18 times hybrid zoom, all without needing a subscription. It works well in most everyday scenarios, though testing did show it can occasionally miss subjects walking straight toward the camera, rather than crossing the frame from side to side. Here's where your actual living situation starts to matter more than any spec sheet. Installing the S4 Max means running Ethernet cable up to 100 meters per run, drilling through walls, and planning out cable paths. So it makes far more sense for a house you own or a project you're building from the ground up. But once that groundwork is laid, the PoE connection makes setup almost automatic, since the NVR detects each camera and powers it without any extra configuration. The Tapo flips that entirely. Mount it, angle the solar panel toward the sun, and you're recording within about half an hour. That panel alone can fully top off the battery with just 90 minutes of daily sunlight, and the built-in cell can otherwise hold a charge for up to 3 months on its own. The trade-off, though, is that it lives and dies by your Wi-Fi signal, so a weak connection out by the driveway or the back fence can undercut the whole setup. The price gap here says a lot about what you're actually buying into. The S4 Max sits around $1,299 for a 4-camera kit with that 2TB drive built in, expandable all the way up to 16 terabytes, and there's no monthly fee attached to any of it. So it's a bigger investment up front, but in exchange, you own your storage and your AI processing outright. Meanwhile, the Tapo comes in closer to $229 for a single camera and its solar panel, though local storage still means adding your own micro SD card. And the more advanced snapshot notifications sit behind a Tapo Care subscription. In other words, it's a lower barrier to entry, just with a few more ongoing decisions built in along the way. So which one actually fits your home? If you own the property, want true continuous recording, and like the idea of cross-camera tracking across a larger space with zero recurring cost, the S4 Max is built for exactly that kind of long-term commitment. But if you're renting, can't run cable, or need to cover a spot with decent sun and weak wiring, the C675D gets you real 4K coverage without ever touching a drill. Neither one is the wrong choice here. They're simply solving two different problems, and once you know which problem you actually have, everything else about this decision falls into place. That was all. Thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments which one you're leaning toward. And if you found it helpful, give it a like and subscribe for more reviews.